Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, of course, we have to talk about Tylenol and what's going on. Before we start, though, I'm going to use three different types of cards here. We're going to actually try and get to the truth here. We're going to find out if any crimes have been committed, and also what part of the body is does it really affect? See if anything comes up with neurological. One of the things I can't get out of my head is when those Tylenol poisonings happened. I remember I was watching Phil Donahue. Remember Phil Donahue? I think I'm aging myself now. For those of you who don't know it, pre-Oprah, um, he had an expert on regarding these poisonings, and there's actually I think it's a special on. I don't know if what streamer it's on right now, and I remember distinctly he said, because I kept looking for it, he said, there's going to be some shocking news about Tylenol. I can't say what it is right now, but it will be coming out in the future. And I kept looking for it, and I never found it. Now, some of you I've mentioned before, but if you're new here, welcome. Some of you may or may not know I'm on the spectrum. When I was diagnosed, it was called Asperger's. Apparently, it's not called that anymore. They want to give us a brand new branding and label. Not into it. Just give me one label and I'll stick with it, which is kind of on brand for Asperger's, to be honest. Anyways, anyways, um, my mother never took Tylenol. I didn't have Tylenol as a child. We had baby aspirin, as many in my generation. Tylenol really didn't come around till about the 80s. When I was pregnant, I did not take Tylenol, but my children did have Tylenol when they got their vaccinations. Apparently, that's an issue as well. Uh, so I'm kind of mixed about and neither one of my children are on the spectrum. Probably a little bit of ADD, but I think a lot of kids have that, to be honest. I almost wonder if that's a survival instinct and not a actual syndrome. Anyways, I digress. Let's find out. Let's ask. The Tylenol, does it actually affect any part of the child growing in the mother's womb? So we're going to look for, so show us where it affects in the child. So we're going to look and see brain, autism, right? Liver. You can't make this up. Tylenol is notorious for affecting your liver. Detoxing life force, passion, wealth, abundance, ethics, challenges, retaining. So it does affect your liver. And we know that. We know that for a fact. There's Tylenol poisoning in your liver. People have had liver difficulties because of Tylenol. I don't even have to say allegedly. Knows, direction, instincts, discern, take a breath, congested, knowing, character. Skull, look at warning, danger, protection, strength, change, wisdom, transition, rebellion. Is this why we have so many children wanting to transition? Bladder, holding in emotions, able to let go, coping with fears, in control, willpower. Now, many on the spectrum, on the upper end of the spectrum, have to wear diapers. They cannot be potty trained, toilet trained. So is that final one? Ear, only what you want to hear. Open to truth, messages, gossip, balance. Only what you want to hear. All right. So I'm going to say that these cards have said Yes, it does affect the child. It may affect the child's liver, or maybe it's not cleared out of the mother's liver. That it affects your character, which is a huge part of autism. Here it is, skull warning, danger, protection, strength, change, wisdom, transition, rebellion. You're different. Bladder, holding in emotions, able to let go, coping with fears, in control, willpower. Holding in emotions, I think, is a big one. Like, emotions are difficult for me. Um, and then ear, only what you want to hear. Open to truth, messages, gossip, balance. All right. Well, I honestly can't make that liver one up. Let's find out the truth. Let's find out the truth about Tylenol. So I'll never forget that that guy said there's information about Tylenol. I can't tell you what it is, but it'll definitely be coming out. And that would have been in the late 80s, early 90s. I wonder if by then they knew there was an issue with Tylenol and pregnancies. Just like they knew, like it took them a while to figure out it was the litamide that was creating children that were born, which was my generation, the thalidomide babies born without limbs or very deformed limbs. It took them a while to put two and two together. So perhaps by the late 80s, they figured out what was going on. But the report was buried. This fellow was insistent that he had some information that would be shocking, and because I kept looking for it. And I've even kind of researched it a little bit when all this came out. All right, what's going on? What's the truth? Oh, interesting cut. Finances, money. Of course it is. It's always about money, isn't it? Miracle, dreams come true, get what you want. On top of the nose. Reconcile, repair, cure, understanding, concession on the skull. So I'm wondering here if, because now they've also announced a cure, now that they understand something about the chemical reaction and whatnot, perhaps it is a miracle that they've discovered that that's what it is. And now they can reconcile a cure. Sunset, lost loved one, memories, elder, night falls. I wonder if they're going to sunset Tylenol. Wonder if this is, look at, we got two sunsets here. The end of Tylenol. Chew, deep thinking, remember, solve puzzles, code word on the ear. Only hear what you want to hear, open to the truth. Okay, chew on this. Let's do the true crime ones now. And has a crime been committed? So, in some regards, I think they're going to something will happen with Tylenol. They're going to maybe sunset the idea that children and pregnant women can have it. And then what do you do for pain? Maybe they go back to aspirin. But there was that rise syndrome. That was huge when my children were small, and it was all children's Tylenol, children's Tylenol. If they had a fever, children's Tylenol. We didn't even have Advil back then. Well, we did, but it was a prescription. And children's Tylenol was always over the counter, right? Um, let's find out, have any crimes been committed? So are they going to sunset that Tylenol safe for pregnancy and safe for children? We have to remember this has nothing to do with Trump. This is Harvard research. There are many research studies on this. Trump was just the one to announce this, and now they think it's Trump who's spewing this information. And like, just please don't be silly. Do your own research. Form your own questions. Go find your own answers. There's multiple studies. Tylenol itself in 2017 suggested that pregnant women do not take Tylenol. Look at the package insert. Let's see, has a crime been committed? Natural disaster, yes. All for money. Natural disaster, absolutely. This is a disaster on human beings, a natural disaster. Love, oh, look at that. We have two hearts here. Love, miracle, dreams come true, get what you want. Love, what's love got to do with it? Miracle, love. And then on the nose, direction, instincts, discern, taking a breath, congested, knowing, character. We'll get back to that one. Reconcile. Okay, hotel, motel, reconcile, cure, repair, cure, understanding, concession. I'm going to say that um, they've been in bed for a while. That's what I want to say. The pharmaceutical companies and maybe the studies, and they've been in bed for a while. Let's see what's on this one. Fraud. I think they're going to close Tylenol down off. I'm not saying they're going to completely get rid of Tylenol. I'm not saying that at all. I think they're going to sunset the that it's safe for pregnancy or children. But I don't think they're going to say it's because of autism. They're going to say something else. It's really hard on their liver, or it's really hard on their bladder, um or hard on, something else. Let's see. Dismemberment. Yeah, you know what? They're going to dismember the company. And that has to do with finances too. They're going to do things, um they're going to separate Tylenol. I think we're going to see no more children's Tylenol. I think we're going to see no more Tylenol safe for pregnancies. I think they're going to break the company up. I think we're going to see something else. Um, what's this love all about? Clarify this love. I don't understand this miracle, this love, this nose. Clarify this. Heart. Oh, I just got it. Heart problems. Is this why so many young people are? Clarify this, please. Man made disaster. I'm wondering if this has something to do with all the young people having heart problems. Miracle, look at that. The heart, man made disaster, natural disaster, and man made disaster. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. But I think, though, Tylenol is in bed with the pharmaceutical companies. Um, It'll be a miracle if YouTube allows this, but they just passed that thing that you could talk about COVID. So that's why I thought, well, let's try the Tylenol. All right. So the cards are saying, yes, there's lots of truth in this. Be discerning. Be discerning. Uh, Chew here means I'm getting that. That means like be careful of be discerning what you hear. Chew it over. Does it make sense in your mind? Um, I'm hearing chew the fat. Wonder if that has anything to do with childhood obesity, right? Because your liver is your toxic. Um, your liver, if your liver's not working, you have a very difficult time losing weight. So I wonder if they're going to find a bunch of different things as well. Perhaps they find that it's something to do with the heart, um, as well. But I think they're definitely on the right track here. I think I would be surprised if they dismantle the company somehow, and they get rid of the children's Tylenol section and tell pregnant women, please do not take Tylenol. I think they're going to sunset that. I don't know if they're going to find something else. Let's just quickly ask. Is there a better alternative? Is there a better alternative? Will they find something else? Because I mean, when you're in pain and you have fever, you want to take something. But what did they take 100 years ago? What did they take 200 years ago when there was pain and fever? Are they going to find a substitute? Yeah. Key people, core of the problem, pass. They're going to give something else a pass. I think it's going to be Advil, to tell you the truth. All right. Perhaps this is all coming out because of Advil. Maybe they want to grab that money. Everything's about money. Everything's about money. All right. Well, what do you think? Do you think Tylenol's guilty? Do you have any evidence? Have you been thinking about things? It's interesting that they said, oh, it's vaccines, it's vaccines. But what do we give our children when they have vaccines? Tylenol for fever, for pain. How many times did I remember they'd say, oh, give the Tylenol before half an hour before your appointment for pain and for fever spikes. So is it a coincidence? Because there's how many people there say, my baby was born absolutely healthy until they had this vaccine. Did they take any Tylenol with the vaccine? I guess time will tell. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. Fare thee well.